to Christchurch Chats. We had audio problems last week, so that's why there wasn't one. So now we have a microphone, which we have switched on this week. That was the problem last week, we didn't switch it on. So we're trying it in a different part of the church as well. But also, this week we've got the lovely Jill, and who else helped?
Alison.
Bishop Alison. Helped do our prayer trail. So if you have a look up there, you can see. What have we done?
Press that button, it's powered off.
You haven't powered it off. There we are. The lovely prayer trail. The thing in the bottom. The lovely prayer trail there, right? You can see we're doing a prayer trail in Easter where we have to learn patience with camera people, isn't it? Yeah.
It's one of the things, yeah.
So this week it's Palm Sunday, so we're celebrating today Jesus coming into Jerusalem, and we're all welcoming Jesus as the hero. We're shouting Hosanna, and by Good Friday the same crowd shouts crucify him, crucify him. So in a week Jesus goes from hero to zero, and also as well he is tried in his trial unjustly. So in other words, he hasn't done anything wrong, he's completely innocent, but yet he still gets convicted and put to death. So Sunday he's the hero, Friday he's dead. So the question we're going to be thinking about today is a bit like our wonderful prayer trail, is we're thinking about examples from everyday life where that same story of Jesus and Holy Week is shown in everyday life. So, you're a batter of hell, Jill. Do you want to go first? Like a batter of hell? Why have you got batter of hell on anyway?
Oh, we went to see the musical this last week. It was really good in Manchester.
You went to see the
Batter of Hell, the musical.
Oh.
It's very good. Very good.
Perhaps I'll go and see, I'll bring in my Iron Maiden t-shirt after I see them in a couple of months. Yeah?
I think you should.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Dances of Death World Tour. Shut up! Anyway, talking about injustice.
I keep.
Right, please.
If you can't pay, we'll take it away. I think that's a bit like that, because it's on the it's a television programme where people who can't pay their bills are descended upon by the bailiffs and have all their stuff taken away. And some of them are made homeless because they can't afford their rent. And it's supposed to be entertainment, and I just think it's awful that these people are tried like that on the telly.
So you think it's a kind of trial by media where the people watching it go chavs, chavs, chavs,
yeah,
rather than crucify him, crucify him?
Oh, that's right, and they should have looked after their money better. And it's all their fault because they can't manage their money. The fact that they haven't got enough money. Well.
That's that. My uncle works for Bright House, so perhaps he might be on that one day. You never know.
So yeah. Will he have a badge? Howell's uncle.
Howell's uncle. He doesn't look anything like me. He's a massive bloke. Okay. So, Howell's uncle. So Jill, sorry, not Jill. Alison.
When someone is accused wrongly of child abuse or any kind of abuse, and the media really love it and make such a big splodge, and then when he's found or she's found innocent, they don't say much. But I was also thinking about people who have the courage to say in any way, verbally, physically, this government is rotten and cruel and vicious, and they land up in prison, and they know that they will, and they know their families will hurt.
So you think that the trial of Jesus is very similar to those who stand up against injustice,
yes,
like in dictatorships and
yes,
things like that?
Yes.
People like Oscar Romero,
yes,
people like Maximilian Kolbe, those
yes,
sorts of people,
yes,
the great saints, but also as well in our society where we're so quick to judgment and we're so fickle,
yes,
that we'll go, yeah, get 'em, boo,
yes,
that
yes,
sort of crowd mentality that we have,
yes,
that isn't always fair.
Yes. Yes, the battering of the van when someone's inside that van going in and out towards prison, and the anger, and you're thinking, they don't know.
Crucify it. It always makes me think of the last bit of Luke's gospel where they returned from Calvary and they beat their breasts, the crowd, because the crowd knew he was innocent.
Yes.
So they realised too late, as we often do,
Yes.
that we've just got carried away.
Mm.
Okay, Hazel, what situation do you think is similar to Jesus in Holy Week?
Unjust, to me, the first thing that came in my head when I knew what we were going to talk about, young girls in other countries that are made to marry men they don't even know, and a lot of the time they're abused, and if they go off, like a young man comes along and they think, well, oh, he's going to be better and that, and they go off with them, the person who's going to get accused of anything is always the young girl, the woman. The man can get away with it, but she will be the one who's getting accused. And if a young girl is raped by one or many men, you know, and if nobody's seen it, if there isn't I think it's 4 people that have seen it and stand up for her, then she's the one who's going to be stoned to death with rocks. A hole dug, she's dumped in it up to her neck, and she's stoned to death. And to me that is, well, it's just mind-boggling. You can't believe it goes on, but it does go on. And I just think that they've done nothing wrong to deserve that whatsoever, just like Jesus did nothing wrong. He was spat on and probably had rocks thrown at him as well. And I think it's just, we say things don't happen now, but they do.
So what you're saying then is that Jesus really is united with these people, so he knows exactly how that feels, because those similar things have happened to him. And the injustice we've got there is where people are treated worse because of what they are, because they're women, or because they're black, or girls, or whatever. But it's to do with that injustice where we judge people because of what they are, not on their merits. It makes me think of Martin Luther King, where he says we should judge people by the quality of their character, not by the colour of their skin.
Yes.
So he's another sort of figure there. So Paul, another example of injustice or a similar story to Holy Week, loudly, because of the microphone. Don't do a Basil Fawlty.
No, I think in fairness we can all pull, if we think hard enough, we can all pull examples from our own personal lives where we've either been the acclaimed person one day and the victim the next, or where we've been in the gang, you know, slagging somebody off. For myself, I've built a company up locally not so long ago. Made them £1 million profit in 12 months, which not a lot of people can say they've done. Was hailed as a hero at the Christmas, and then 3 weeks later when I went back to work, was pretty much summarily dismissed, having done nothing at all wrong. The owners of the company got a bit greedy and felt that somebody else could make them more money. The people who hailed me as the hero in the call centre and gave me a lovely card and sent me off, you know, for a nice Christmas with gifts. Some of them were told not to speak to me, others chose not to speak to me, and you know, basically for a while I was pulling knives out my back, left, right and centre. But you know, that's human nature, that's the thing I've found with it, and it's very easy to slip into that pattern. To give you an example today, I don't like to be political, but Jeremy Corbyn. You've got a guy there, he claimed £8 last year in expenses, and yet he's criticised left, right and centre. It doesn't matter what the guy does. If he does something, it's wrong. If somebody else does something in the party, it's Jeremy's fault. And really speaking, it's very easy to slip into the gang that sits there and go, oh yeah, Jeremy Corbyn, he's a terrible guy. But really speaking, Christians especially should, in my opinion, be thinking to themselves, well, hang on, you know, this happened to Jesus, and I'm not saying Jeremy Corbyn is Jesus.
No, I don't think he is. No.
But the guy hasn't done anything wrong.
I think that's the thing, though, is that it's difficult to stand up when you're in the crowd, when the crowd is going in whatever way, be that the papers, be that locally, be that internationally. It's almost impossible to stand up against it. And it's that same crowd mentality that led to Christ's crucifixion, isn't it?
Yeah.
I love that way you preface it. I don't like to get political. I was just like, everyone's like, really? Okay. Nobody believes you. But I think for me, and to finish with this, is it makes, because I'm a nerd, it makes this year, it's made me think of Mr. Spock from Star Trek, right? And makes me think of Mr. Trump as well, and things like that.
And is Spock trumping?
Yeah, well, I don't know. But Mr. Spock says, in Star Trek, he says, the good of the many outweighs the good of the few, or the one, right? And what he's talking about there is, do the ends justify the means? And this week, when they've bombed Syria and other things, the reason they give is they say, well, we're going to kill these people now, even though they're innocent, because we think that in the future less people will have to die. So you reduce human life down to a kind of numbers game. And people think that's a very new idea. You know, people put it down to kind of J.S. Mills and things, and oh, it's very new. But it's not, because Caiaphas said, better for one man to die for the good of the people. And I think all of us at times get confused between means and ends. So perhaps what I'm thinking about this year is about, rather than thinking about the destination, about where we should be and getting there at all costs, is actually thinking about, it's more important about how we conduct the journey rather than making sure we get to where we think we should want to go. So that's this one for me this year. Better for one man to die for the good of the people, and the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few, or the one.
Yeah, but that's not good for the one, is it?
Exactly. Nobody wants to be the one, do they?
No, somebody has to be, and I hope it's not me.
No.
I nominate Hazel.
Do you? I nominate Hazel to be the one. So what we'll do is see you next week when it's going to be Easter Sunday, and hope the sound works. And if you're in Market Drayton, pop in and do the prayer trail around the church. We're open all the time, and check out our website for our services, etc. So see you next time.
And we are nearly 3 minutes over time.
Oh, well done.